Managing Kubernetes workloads requires addressing security vulnerabilities from container breakouts, simplifying admission control infrastructure, handling resource adjustments without downtime, and diagnosing hardware-related failures. You can now upgrade your Amazon EKS clusters to Kubernetes version 1.36, which brings 4 capabilities to solve these challenges. You can map container root to unprivileged host users through user namespaces and general availability, ensuring that container breakouts grant no node-level privileges. You can mutate API resources without webhook infrastructure using mutating admission policies with cell-based expressions directly in the API server. You can resize pod CPU and memory without restart through in-place pod-level resources vertical scaling, allowing dynamic resource adjustments. You can report device health in pod status with resource health status to identify hardware-caused crash loops. You can create new clusters or upgrade existing ones using the EKS console, xtool, or infrastructure as code tools. Kubernetes version 1.36 is available in all AWS regions where EKS operates, including AWS GovCloud regions. When you run compute-intensive workloads with Deadline Cloud Service managed fleets, workers previously relied on ephemeral storage, requiring you to reinstall software and assets each time a worker was recycled or replaced. This increased startup time and delayed job completion. You can now attach persistent Amazon EBS volumes to SMF workers to maintain data across worker lifecycle events. You can preserve Conda environments, Perforce workspaces, shader caches, and asset collections between worker sessions. You can configure the number of persistent volumes per worker and set a time to live to control how long volumes are retained, allowing you to balance storage costs with startup performance. Persistent storage is available in all regions where Deadline Cloud is offered and is priced the same as existing service managed fleets EBS pricing. You need microsecond read latency for high-performance workloads, but cannot accept data loss that occurs with traditional caching. ElastiCache now addresses this by storing data across multiple availability zones using a multi-OS transactional log, enabling fast failover and recovery. You can choose synchronous writes that persist data across at least 2 OSs before responding, achieving zero data loss with single-digit millisecond write latency. Alternatively, you can select asynchronous writes that maintain microsecond write latency at no additional cost, though up to 10 seconds of data could be lost during failures. Both options preserve microsecond read latency. You can now deploy ElastiCache for use cases where data loss is unacceptable, including AI agent long-term memory, AI agent workflow state, knowledge bases for RAG applications, payment tokenization, and real-time inventory management. The feature is available in all AWS commercial regions, AWS China regions, and AWS GovCloud regions starting with Valkey 9.0. When you migrate SQL Server applications from on-premises environments to AWS, you face the challenge of either purchasing new SQL Server licenses or waiting for existing license agreements to expire before adopting a managed database service. This creates cost barriers and delays cloud adoption. With Bring Your Own Media, you can reuse your existing Microsoft SQL Server licenses, including software assurance, through Microsoft's License Mobility program when you migrate to Amazon RDS. You can migrate from on-premises, other clouds, or self-managed SQL Server on EC2 without incurring the cost of additional licenses or waiting for current agreements to expire. The integration with AWS License Manager enables you to track your SQL Server license usage across your AWS environment for compliance purposes. This allows you to adopt the managed RDS service with features like high availability, automated backups, and monitoring while maintaining your existing licensing investments. Managing security and compliance evaluations across multiple AWS services can create complexity and additional costs when each service needs to separately assess resource configurations. AWS Config now supports internal service-linked rules that address this by allowing AWS services to directly evaluate resource configurations using AWS Config managed rules. You can benefit as AWS services like Security Hub CSPM deploy and manage their own rule evaluations for service-specific functionality. Evaluation results are delivered directly to the requesting AWS service at no charge to you. These internal rules operate independently from your existing AWS config recorders and rules, so you can continue using AWS config for inventory, governance, compliance, and auditing without interference. This separation enables AWS services to manage their own evaluations while you maintain control over your config setup. The feature is available in all commercial, GovCloud, and China regions. Analyzing AWS cost data previously required you to build custom data warehouse solutions or manually configure query engines. CUR 2.0 now integrates directly with Athena and Redshift, enabling you to query CUCAR 2.0 data using standard SQL. When you select either integration, exports are automatically delivered in optimized formats like Parquet and Zip for your chosen query engine. You can use included infrastructure templates, table definitions, and data loading instructions to start querying immediately without manual configuration. As CR 2.0 data refreshes periodically, updates are automatically reflected in your Athena or Redshift tables without requiring additional ETL processes, giving you continuous access to current cost data.